Okay, today is April 10th, 2021. It's about 8:30 a.m. Okay guys, current physique update. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This wraps up week 13. It looks like I'm down 5 pounds. I think last week I estimated that I would lose approximately 6 pounds, something like that. 6 to 8, I think is what I said. I'm happy with 5 pounds. I'm making progress again. I finally got into the 270s, so 278.2, so I'll take that. Overall weight loss for the 13 weeks is 51.6 pounds. I'm definitely satisfied with that. This is supposed to be like a lifestyle change. So earlier this morning, as I was getting ready to film this video, I was thinking like, where would I be if I had no free day of eating every week and I didn't make any mistakes on, adding in a Sunday on top of my Saturday free day. And I thought, you know what, realistically over the course of 12 weeks, maybe that cost me 10 pounds, but at the end of the day, this is about creating a lifestyle, not just a diet. So yes, it's obviously a dietary change, but ultimately it's a lifestyle change, and it has to be something that I can comply with the majority of the time, otherwise it's not going to work. So for me, the way I'm eating Sunday through Friday has been very easy for the most part to sustain. I am eating at a huge caloric deficit because my exercise level right now is extremely low. If you guys are following my progress, you'll know that I have a hand injury that I'm getting therapy for, and hopefully that'll be resolved in the next couple of weeks, and I can actually start putting in a lot more effort towards the fitness side of things. As of right now, my limitations make it really almost impossible to do any kind of resistance training, and I think that's definitely detrimental to speeding up progress. So I'm mostly relying on my diet to lose this weight. I could be doing more than I am when it comes to movement. I really suck at doing cardio. I don't like it, so I make every excuse in the world not to do it. So this week I have done like none, other than just basic like running errands and doing things that cause movement. I haven't been like, I'm going to go for a 2-mile walk or anything like that. So that's something that I could change. I'm trying to get better about that. I just really don't like doing it. So it's hard to do stuff that you just flat out don't like. So I'm going to put more effort into coming up with some kind of a schedule where I'm in like a routine of I wake up and go for a walk, or I walk before bed, or I do something like that just to increase movement, which will increase the calorie deficit. I'm pretty much at the lowest calorie deficit that I can get to right now through food. I'm averaging probably, the range of my calories goes from like 1,400, 1,300, well, 1,400-ish to maybe 1,700. So if you averaged out all of the days of the week, well, except for Saturdays, I would say I probably eat on average of about 1,500 to 1,600 calories a day. For somebody that's my size, I'm 5'10", and I weigh 278 pounds. That's a huge caloric deficit. So I really can't eat less food than that without expecting to lose muscle. And right now I'm not doing any kind of resistance training. So I think what a pitfall a lot of people get into when they start dieting is they drop their calories really low, and that includes their protein. And then they start losing body fat and muscle mass because they're not getting adequate protein and they're in a large deficit. Their body starts pulling from wherever it can to get energy. And so I'm opting to keep my protein up as I don't know, reasonably high as possible, and still keeping my calories low. So obviously my diet, I'm doing about like 250-ish grams of protein. My fat falls into the range of about 40 to 60 grams a day. Days where I have steak, it goes closer to that 60 mark. Otherwise, when I'm eating like chicken, fish, egg whites, tends to be closer to like 40 to 50. I still eat 4 to 6 whole eggs a day. I do think there's a whole lot of benefit to eating the whole egg, lots of nutrition. So it's definitely worth the extra calories. If I was going to drop my calories, I do that by manipulating the protein sources like steak. I'll substitute for chicken. So I do have like some higher and some lower calorie days, but at the end of the day, it probably equals out to roughly 15 to 1600 calories a day. And then carbohydrates, I keep that really low. I'm mostly a carnivore style diet. I don't eat vegetables with the exception of olives and garlic. I'll have, a few olives a day with a meal. I just enjoy them. I like them, and they're keto. And then I eat garlic, like garlic as well, and I think there's some health benefits to that. So I usually eat around 2 good-sized cloves a day. And then on my egg whites, I put no sugar added, Heinz ketchup. Comes out to 1 carb per serving. I eat about 3 servings of that a day. Hopefully in the near future, I'll do some like full day of eating, maybe some grocery shopping, meal prep videos, things like that, so people can kind of see what I'm doing. I talk about it a lot, but that's not necessarily helpful for people that are watching the videos that kind of want to see how it all works out, or what I do. I do a lot of sous vide cooking. Meal prepping is huge for me. I try to cook for at least three to 5 days at a time, so that way I'm not constantly cooking. Sous vide has been my best friend for proteins, especially chicken. I don't really like chicken. I prefer to eat it cold. So sous vide allows me to cook it to a temperature where it's still really juicy and tender. And served cold, it's actually not bad. And then steaks lets me take tougher cuts of steak, like flank steak, cook it for like 8 to 12 hours and end up with a really tender, juicy steak, and I can still have it rare. Other than that, guys, video's getting rather long. Just want to kind of give you an update. All week long, the diet went really well. The only thing I've done that I wish I could do better is involve more movement. Like, even just a daily walk would be fine with me. And then hopefully as soon as I'm cleared to do, more physical activity, I can really start focusing on putting a lot of effort into resistance training with the bands that I bought. I do some band exercises, but I'm so limited that I almost feel like I'm defeated. I think something's better than nothing, but I really can't like lift hard, go heavy, or even use my right hand to any real degree. Like I have a 10-pound weight restriction on my hand, so that's not a lot. So I do what I can. Other than that, guys, going forward, I think I mentioned last week, going forward to keep myself honest about my Saturday free day, I am going to be tracking calories as best as possible. Right now, all of my free eating has been mostly at home, so it's pretty easy to track. I mean, I have all the food labels and I can log how much of what I eat. So I'm going to log today's food, and when I post this video on Sunday, tomorrow, I will put in the comment section like my macros for Saturday. I'm probably not going to have a breakdown of everything I ate. That would probably become a little bit of too much work for me to have to sit and list every food I ate. But I will list the total protein, fat, carbs, total calories, at least to give people an idea of where I stand on Saturdays. And I think that'll also help me out tremendously when it comes to seeing how much my Saturdays might be throwing off my entire week. One thing I also want to point out, and I think I touched on this last week, is that, if you have a day where you eat like a ton of calories, I really don't think that that one day is super detrimental. I mean, you might gain a bunch of water weight from a bunch of sodium and carbs, and that might take you a few days to to get rid of. But as long as you're still eating in a caloric deficit, I think you're still losing body fat. You're just waiting for that water weight to go away, which is kind of what happens to me every week. And that's why I do my updates on Saturdays, basically so that Sundays are not inconsistent, So for consistency purposes, I weigh myself everything on Saturday, have my free day, post this on Sunday. And that's another thing. If you are following these fitness videos and you don't want to watch all the other content on my channel, I have broken everything down into playlists. So you can just look for the fitness transformation playlist, or if you happen to be watching this and you mostly like watching all the beer videos, I'm still posting all the old beer videos that I have recorded Monday through Friday. Saturday is the day that I upload new beer videos, and then Sunday is the fitness uploads. And as we're getting into summer here, I'm going to be having, there's also a playlist for motorcycle stuff. I'm going to start adding more stuff in that category whenever I can. So I guess that's about it, guys. Can't think of anything else to go over. Like I said, I'm just going to start tracking Saturdays. But like I was saying, if you eat a lot of calories in one day, just like, your body can only assimilate so much protein to rebuild muscle. So if you could just, everything you consume would be utilized, people would be like working out nonstop, and they would just be eating like 1,000 grams of protein so they could build muscle like at an alarming rate. But it doesn't work that way, and I don't think it works that way for fat gain either. I think when you eat an excessive amount of calories, it's more like consistently doing that where it becomes like a big issue. If you eat like 10,000 calories in one day, yes, it's not good, and it's going to probably result in some weight gain, but it's not like all of it gets stored. Your body only has so much time to do something with it, and like just how your body can't utilize excessive protein, I think that your body is only so efficient at storing fat and creating fat. So it'll take the excess carbs and excess fat that you eat and store it as energy, but I think there's a limit to how fast it can do that. So ultimately, your body has probably a certain amount of time. If your transit time is 4 or 6 hours, 8 hours, whatever it may be, your body has that much time to do something with all of these calories. And I just think that it just makes a little common sense to me that your body can't just, store endless amounts of fat, just like it can't build endless amounts of muscle. So it can only do so much. So one day of a horrible diet, I think, is probably just slightly detrimental to overall success. It's whenever you're doing that every day that your body has as much possible opportunity to store fat or build muscle. And that's why I think consistency, no matter what your goals are, consistency is what matters most. You need to consistently hit your protein mark and work out if you want to gain muscle. If you want to be a big fatty, then you're going to have to consistently overconsume calories and do that over a long period of time in order to actually see a lot of weight gain, fat gain, whatever. It's not typically the goal anybody has. But the point is, I think one day of anything isn't going to result in anything substantial. One day of eating the right amount of protein and going to the gym doesn't build muscles. Eating a bunch of food that's bad in one day and one day only isn't going to result in gaining a ton of weight. So anyway, just something to think about. And I think that's why, like I said earlier, week 13, down 51 pounds. So over 3 months, if I had a perfect diet, maybe I'd be down 61 pounds, so 10 pounds over 3 months. I don't know. To me, it's kind of worth having that day of being able to eat what I want, drink some beers, and maintain a lifestyle that keeps me happy. Ultimately, if I was super strict on my diet, I think that I would eventually fail. I've done this before on my own years ago, and that's exactly what kind of happened. I was real compliant for about 4 months and had awesome results, and then I just fell off the wagon, couldn't get back on it, and here I am, 3.5, 4 years later, deciding to put my foot down and come up with something that I can do and maintain, and it'll work for the long haul. So I'm going to keep doing this transformation thing, probably ongoing. I don't know when it'll end, if ever. The goal is to kind of keep doing what I'm doing until I get to where I want to be. So if you're enjoying the journey, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And we'll see you next week. Take care.